right, all right. Welcome to our video podcast. And we have with us Pooch of Chubbtown. This is a place where he grew up, and he's going to share and tell us all about it. I am just so excited about the reflections that he's going to give us concerning Chubbtown and all the memories we get to share and about the family and everybody. So, first of all, I just want to introduce Pooch and let him give you a shout out. Okay, Pooch, give everybody a shout out.
Hey, everybody. I hope y'all enjoying yourself today.
All right, all right. And Pooch, we have a picture of your mom, Della, and share about Della and who Della is and how she fits into the picture.
Well, Della is my mother. Her name was Clementine Chubb. That was her original name. And she married a Stokes and had 5 of us kids. Ostel, which is me, Alfred, which is my other brother, and Norris, Avis, and Angela.
All right, all right. Now, where did Della grow up?
Oh, Della growed up in Chubbtown, Georgia.
Uh-huh. And share a bit about her parents.
Her her mother was a Sam's, and her father is the Chubb. And she had two. She had a brother and a sister, Elvira Braystone and Edward Chubb.
Praise God. All right. Now, you know what, Pooch, I remember and how you told us you used to go down and travel and spend time with your grandmother when you were younger. And so tell us your first remembrance of going down.
Oh, actually the first time that I actually remember when I was about, I guess I must have been about 5 years old. They had put me on a train, and I didn't realize it until a few days ago that when I was riding on the train, after you pass a certain part of Ohio, then they remove you and put you into another coach. And I guess that coach was for colored people only. I wasn't for sure, but I knew that they moved me. And my mother always packed me a lunch, a brown bag lunch to carry on the train, and she made sure that the people on the train was looking after me. And so we went on down, and I got off at the Rome a train station. My grandfather picked me up there, and the only thing I remember when I got off the train, I seen two water fountains. One said colored only, and the other one said white only. And that was the only thing that I ever remember as far as being discriminated against. Although I wasn't thirsty or nothing, so I didn't drink out of that.
Now,
I was only about 5 years old.
okay. Now, is that the first time that you've seen the colored and the white water fountain?
That was the first time that I remember, and the last time that I remember.
Wow, wow.
Yeah,
That's something. So in Ohio, where you lived at, you never saw him up there?
never.
Whoa, my goodness. Okay, okay. So how did you enjoy your ride with your grandfather from the train station to Mama Chubb? Can you remember any of those memories?
No, I don't remember the ride. All right, I made it there. Yeah, and at that time he wasn't crippled.
Uh-huh. So and then he would take you to Mama Chubb. And how was
Yeah.
that seeing your grandmother?
Oh well, first thing I did when I got out of the car, she would hug me, and then we go in the house. That's what
Okay.
I remember the most.
Okay. Now, what about like down there? There are not a lot of no street lights that I remember. A few now, but did it being so dark? Did that bother you any?
Oh, not really. I didn't. I didn't. I guess I really didn't think about it that much at that time. Only time I remember that is when I was older, and we. Oh, I was old enough to drive then. That's what I remembered how dark it was. But
Yeah.
all the other time, I never did remember how dark it was because I never went out. I was never out at night.
Uh-huh. Yeah, because I know some grown-up people have a different experience. They talk about the country and they talk about how dark it is. And so
Right.
I wondered what your thoughts were.
Yeah, well, I could talk about how dark it was, but but I never was out. Like I said, I never went out at dark. I
Uh-huh.
was always in the house by night. But I got up real early in the morning. I was up every morning at about like 7 o'clock in the morning, and we had one of the houses they call a shotgun house, which is a very very nice house at that time. That particular house was, um, and shotgun house to me was the kind of house you could open it up, open the door in the front and in the back, and look straight through.
All right.
But
Wow.
it was a nice house. It had a big screen in front porch, and it had a back porch, which my grandfather really used the back porch to store all his tools and things with, And I had a full kitchen, a big kitchen, and it had a full size dining room and a full size living room, which a living room is exactly the way that it was before either one of them passed away. We managed to be able to keep that living room exactly where it is.
Okay.
And it also had 3 bedrooms. My grandfather had their bedroom. My mother and her sister, which is Elvira Braystone, and had their own room together. And my uncle, which was Edward Chubb, had his bedroom. So they had 3 bedrooms, and one they didn't even have a bathroom at that time. And
Okay.
then a few years later, I guess I must have been about 10 or 12 years old. That's when my grandfather had arthritis and was bothering him real bad, and uh, uh, they had put in a toilet only. That's all. They had that, and then the water that we had was from a well. No, I
Oh,
take that back. It wasn't a well. It was what they call a cistern, which the water run off the roof into a holding tank, and then they had a pump which pumps the water up through the kitchen.
oh wow.
So,
Well,
but
did you have to,
we didn't have hot and cold water at that time down there. We just had cold water.
were there any farm animals or animals or
Oh,
anything?
yeah. When I was, we had my grandfather at that time. He had some goats and he had chickens, and they had a mule that I remember. And and let me see what else they had. I think that's about all that I remember. And we had a few snakes around.
Oh
I
my God.
remember them.
What's your first experience in a snake?
Oh, my first experience really seeing a snake was with my aunt down at her house, Elvira Maystone. Uh, we had a big snake. We'd go fishing. I don't really not like fishing. I still don't like fishing. But anyway, I would go with her, and then she hollered one day. We was down fishing. She said, "Pooch, snake," and I ran one way and she ran the other way. Only thing about it, when we ran to her house, she ran in and got a shotgun. I ran into the bedroom. And then she went back outside and she actually found that snake and shot the snake.
Praise God. Oh my. Ooh. That's something. That's courageous right there. What are
It
some
her was.
did you
But
ever go and get
I was
eggs
like,
from the did you ever go get eggs that were freshly laid from the chickens?
oh yes, my grandmother, she got eggs every day. Yeah, she had
Wow.
a hen house, and they would go get the eggs out of, every morning. She would go out and get the eggs and stuff.
Uh-huh.
So, and the other experience that I had with a snake was my grandfather. He was crippled. He was on a tractor outside, and she called him. She said snake, and so my brother Jack was with me. So he went in there and he told him what kind of gun to get. We both knew what kind of gun to get. It was a 410 shotgun. So he went. So Jack ran and got the shotgun, and he put it up on his shoulder. That's how he shot it, up on his shoulder. And
Uh-huh.
then then he pulled the trigger. He seen the snake coming out of the hen house. He pulled the trigger and shot the snake. And my brother Jack he said, "You missed, Granddaddy." My grandfather said, "Son, I never miss." that big old snake come rolling up out of that thing. Boy, I tell you, that was the biggest snake I ever seen in my life.
Oh my God.
But he killed it. But my grandmother, she wasn't scared at all. She always carried a hoe with her no matter where we went. And she picked that snake up and throwed it somewhere over in the bushes or something. Yeah.
Ooh, my. What are some of your fondest memories?
I guess my fondest memory was actually just going down and have. I would go down every summer, and I tried to get my friends to go with me from Cincinnati. That they didn't really want to go because they wasn't used to any country or anything like that. So, but every year I would go. My grandmother would have me a birthday party, and she would have all my cousins, every one of them down there, to come to the birthday party. That's how I got to know them as of today. Because every year from the time I was like 5 years old until I would say about 14, you know, I see them every year, and they look forward to seeing me, and I look forward to seeing them when I went down. And they would always tell me about all kinds of things that was going on down there, little stuff. But that was my fondest memory of everything.
What
But
what are some, what are some of the things your grandmother cooked that you liked?
then, well, I tell you what, yeah, and well, the breakfast I would say I like because I like grits, and she would have fish for breakfast, grits and fish and stuff like that. And then, but she loved corn. My grandfather used to tease her all the time about eating corn, but she loved corn, so I had corn a lot.
You know,
And
a
then I loved to go down to my aunt's house uh, to see my other two cousins, Cynthia and Clemmy. She's Dr. Clemmy now. I guess you want to call her. But she just wrote the latest Chubb book, and
oh wow.
and see them in the summertime. But my grandfather would never let me stay too long down there. I may spend a night, but he would be down in the morning, or either he may would have to bring me back up there. But I
Uh-huh.
loved spending the night with them because we always had ice cream at night and stuff like that. And and we had fun. And I had my other cousins; they would come down, and they were Sam's. That was Bobo, Elliot, Ralph, Arnie, and Melvin. Them the ones I remember the most, and Sandra, which Sandra's no longer with us anymore. But they was witty, very witty. They used to tell me little scary stories all the time. But I
Mhm.
wasn't worried about it too much because I just go to bed then. But they would come down. They had a pathway from their house to my aunt's house. And they would come down every time I was down there. They would come down.
Now, what when you and your mom used to go down? How what did you do with your mom? How did she? After being married and leaving, and then you go back down. What are some of the memories you guys share?
Well, the, the best memory I could have is when I was about, I guess I must have been about maybe 11 or 12. My father drove us down, and there was a route called Route 27. And it was so scary. I mean, like you gonna fall off the cliff and everything. Although I drive fast now, but I mean at that time I thought he was driving extremely fast. I thought we were gonna die. But it took us about like 9.5, 10 hours to get down there. So that that was basically what I really remember, just going down. And after we got down there, it was about the same. The same. And then I do remember that when we would pull up to the house, she had this great big old gobbly turkey. And that thing you couldn't even get out of the house because the turkey kept coming to you, and then big old wings would be flopping down on the ground. And my grandmother had a hoe she used to carry with her all the time, and she would have to beat that big old turkey away from us so we could even get out the car.
Oh wow.
And that and through the years that I came down there, she still had I think she still had that turkey because it was we couldn't hardly have any company because that turkey would keep gobbling and spreading his wings like he was going to eat somebody or kill him or something before he got killed. And then one time, I think my grandfather did tell me when I came back. I asked him what happened to the turkey. He said he shot him.
Oh wow. Oh, did Jack and Angie and Kat and Donnell and you all go down there when you were younger together
Uh,
sometimes?
Jack, myself, and Donnell did go together one time, but the best thing, the funniest part that I remember about when Jack went down with me is like we would go fishing. My grandfather had twin lakes, so so I would go fishing with my grandmother, and he would go too. Only thing I caught was chiggers, and he caught them too. So, but when we got back to the house, Jack, Jack had chiggers all over his whole body,
Oh
and so
my God.
grandmother had a big old tub, that we had to get in, to wash, and she had kerosene in that tub, so we had to take a kerosene bath, to get to get to get the chiggers off of you. Yeah, that was sort of funny, but we didn't know. But anyway, he told me he said Pooch. He said I ain't never coming back down here no more. Yeah, I think Jack must have been about grown when he did come down.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and
Oh,
Donnell, him and Demetrius, which is my my other first cousin, which he has right now. He has the property that my grandfather had the Twin Lakes on. He has that property now.
wow.
But so most of our property, which my grandfather had, is still in the hands of Chubbs.
Mhm. Was Chubb Chapel down there built when you were there?
Oh yeah, Chub Chopper was there. It looked just the same way it always did.
Oh, it's so charming. I love looking at it. And the insides, I think it's had a facelift from the earlier days. It's so wonderful, but I'm sure both eras were great.
Yes, uh, you have to get the church book to know more about the church. I remember the church because we used to go every Sunday that they had church. I thought it was every Sunday, but I didn't know. It might have been every other Sunday, but I don't remember. I just remember going. There was a lot of people at the church then, a lot of them. But my
Uh-huh.
grandfather, he had arthritis, so he couldn't get out of the car. So he would park right next to the church, up about the windows. You could see it from anybody who bought the book and see the church, and they could see where you could drive up on the side of the church. So he couldn't go in, so he could hear him preaching and singing from the outside.
Oh wow, that's a beautiful memory. Wow, my goodness. Did you enjoy going to church on the Sundays?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. To be truthful about it, I surely did. I look forward to going.
All right. What are some of your fond memories about going to Chubb Chapel?
Uh, so many younger kids were there that grew up to be, I watched them sort of grow up. I was small, so all the kids they looked like they was real tall, especially all the Chubbs that came through there. And not only Chubbs, there was Ellis's, Browns. I can't remember all, but I remember them that much of them. And plus, you know, Aunt May, which is Elvira May Stone, Braystone, excuse me, and a second sister. They would all dress up and everything would go. That was the thing about it. That's what we had to do every Sunday that we went. We all dressed up. But the other funny part about it is that uh, all my cousins could walk down there without any shoes on. so, so they could walk all down there with all the rocks with no shoes on. I tried that. I couldn't do it.
Couldn't do it.
Had to run and get my shoes.
Did you all have a Sunday dinner after church or picnics or stuff
Uh,
like that?
Let me see. I'm trying to remember. We had dinner all the time,
Uh-huh.
but I didn't remember anything special after that. You know what I mean? As coming back from church to have dinner and stuff. Only
Okay.
thing I remember doing was take off my clothes and change them and get ready to go to work.
Now, when you all were in the like country area, what did you go to grocery shopping at?
Oh well, they had grocery shopping. For one thing about it, I never remembered going to Case Springs at all. Never. We went to Cedartown, and we would go to Rome. But my grandmother mostly did all her shopping in Cedartown. Or either later on, she would have my Uncle Bud, which was Edward Chubb. he would stop at the grocery store for us. It was something that she needed. When he went to work, he would bring it back when he got from work.
Mhm. And cutting grass. Did your grandfather cut the grass, or hire somebody to cut it, or how did that get maintained?
Well, to be truthful about it, where I'm sitting at now, that was about all the grass we really had.
Okay.
That was
Wow.
our front yard, and everybody's front yard was about the same, except
Hmm.
one experience. After I got older, my mother did inherit the home place down there, and so I was cutting. We had some kind of lawnmower we had, and a riding mower, and I was cutting, and she said, "Well, Pooch," she said, "What are you doing?" She said, "The front yard is up there." I said, "Well, Mama," I said, "by the time I'm finished with it," I said, "the front yard is gonna be everywhere." Although I didn't know at that time, I was only about, I think I was 16. I might have been 16 years old then, 17. Yeah. And so now and then we had 23 acres. So I'm cutting about 15. That's down at her place.
Uh-huh.
But
Uh-huh.
that's where my grandmother's house is at.
Yeah, yeah. And what do you like most? Like today, I know you love to spend time there. And what are some of the things you do as you spend time there? What do you enjoy doing?
Most of the time I'm cutting grass or fixing lawnmowers. That's what I do all day long. It takes me like right now 2.5 days to cut the grass.
Whoa, praise
About there,
God.
you know.
I imagine that can be kind of therapeutic, cutting grass. Some people like to go fish and meditate, but cutting grass, I'd imagine it could be kind of, just peaceful away from the city life and all that.
Well, cutting grass was what I did. I liked it. I really liked it.
Mhm. Mhm.
And fishing, my cousins always go fishing, which was all right with me because I love to eat fish, but I sure didn't like to catch them.
Now, what about, were you the one that said that they used to catch catfish with their hands or something like that? Big catfish?
Oh, not me. No, I was. I happened to be down there one time. I was grown then, and my cousin Ellabelle, which they live right there in Chubbtown too. So we'd go down there and see them. And one day I was walking up to their house. They had just got a brand new trailer up there, and they had these things all covered up. And happened to look up under there, and it was a fish. That fish must have been about 7 feet long. I never seen anything like it in my life, and it was
Lord.
three of them. So I asked them, I said, well, "What are y'all going to do with them?" I didn't know I have any clue. I seen them on TV before, where people would go up under the bank and stick their hand up under there and pull them out.
Uh-huh.
So evidently somebody had caught them for them and gave them to them. So I asked Annabelle, "What you going to do with them?" She said they cut them up in little pieces and make you know and fry them that way. That's how they did them.
Wow. Did
I
you
never
ever,
did. I went
did
down
you,
none of
did
that.
you ever eat any?
Huh?
Did you ever eat any?
No.
And why is that?
No, I didn't eat none of that. No, I always ate my cousin's fish, Hardy's fish. I like this fish, and
Uh-huh.
and then he left and he got married again. So I went up to his new house up there, and he had fish on it. They had pretty fish up there. I didn't know if the fish was even done or not because it was so pretty. I said, "This ain't none of hardy fish." They said, "Well, Pooch, we just caught this fish this morning." I said, "Well, hardy fish is always brown." They said, "Yeah, that's because hardy. They would clean the daggone pot out." He kept using the same old grease all the time, and it tasted good to me.
Oh my goodness. Now, what are some of the quotes or things that you can remember your granddad or your grandmother used to say? Some quotes or something they would say, words of wisdom that stood out.
Words of wisdom. uh, Let me see. I'm trying to think. I don't want to tell those stories on camera because my cousins will be dead on me.
We can come back to that one. We can come back to that one. Now, while you're sitting out down at Mama Chubb, sometime, do you ever see any a deer or any animals come past?
Yes, I see them all the time.
Oh
Pl-
wow.
Plenty of, plenty of a deer. But this last time I was down, it was amazing because I had seen. It was 32 turkeys in the yard. It was so many turkeys that people were pulling up from Chubb Road to stop and look at the turkeys.
Oh
So
my,
not only there was there 32 turkeys, there were 32 turkeys, 4 deer, and 2 rabbits.
oh my goodness.
I could see them all the way. I mean, on the front porch, I could see the 32 turkeys. I go to the back and see the deer and the rabbits,
My
and I could see
goodness.
that for like 3 days straight. And I never know what happened to them after that. I never seen them no more.
Oh
But I
wow.
see deer all. I take that back. Deer I see all the time, and the rabbits I see, but I never seen any more turkeys.
Oh my goodness. Now, what are some of the things that you like to do when you go down now? Or what are some of the hot spots you like to visit when you go down?
Well, there's no hot spot. That's but I do love. I love to go visit my cousins and stuff. I love to go visit them, or either they'll come by and see me, one of the two. But really, there's no hot spots down there.
Uh,
Only spot you got is where you
well,
either go to
for
the
you,
grocery
a
store.
hot spot would be a flea market. You like to visit the
Oh
flea
yeah, well, yeah, that's a lot of miles away. But
market.
I go to that every weekend sometimes. You know, the flea market stuff.
And do you
I like doing that.
okay? And oh, so that is great. And what else? What are some of the other things that stood out and stands out about Chubbtown today? Some of the
Well,
things.
right now, uh, Chubbtown is actually really growing with our relatives and stuff like that. They're building things. We have I know mostly everybody have seen or heard of Nick Chubb. You know, he's a football player and for the Cleveland Browns up here, and his father is building a very nice home down in Chubbtown. Uh-huh. And my sister has a very nice house.
Wow.
And we have the original home that my grandmother and grandfather had and built themselves, you know. So the, my other brothers and sisters are helping, you know, we keeping the grass cut and all of that kind of stuff like that, and having money to do that. And my sister, she does hers mostly all of hers by herself. She's doing about 13 acres up there, and that was part of my grandfather's property too. But it's just what now we go. I can walk up there all the time. There's no problem about that, you know.
So, do y'all ever get together, like as a family, at Mama Chubb's and do a dinner? Do you remember? Do you remember having family reunion at Mama Chubb's place anytime?
Yes, we had family reunion down there. We've had it more than once. We had it a couple times down there at the place down there, and we've also had them at our other cousin's place at the cabin. You know, which is a very nice place too. It's pretty close, and then most of our other family reunions, which are Sam's family reunion, not the Chubb family reunion, was held in Rome, Georgia. So, and we had a great time. That's when everybody who lived out of town came into Chubbtown, and we would have a lot of fun.
Right, right. Oh, that is wonderful. I can see behind us a part of Mama Chuck's house on the picture behind us and everything. And but one day you go down, you have to take more pictures so we can see, and pictures so we can see perhaps part of the house or the living room, just that atmosphere and what you grew up in, and share it with a lot of people, because a lot of people are curious about Chubbtown and just the flavor and just the getaway. And it is so beautiful around there from what I remember. Just, I mean, the driving and just driving, and a lot of new people, and those fences they put in are so gorgeous.
Yes, they have. The one guy he bought about, I think he has over 1,000 acres down there, and he has cows. I mean, very good cows. I mean, a fencing. I guess got maybe $5 or $6 million worth of fencing down there, and
Wow.
very very pretty. It looks like Kentucky as far as the horse farms and stuff like that. That's how pretty it is.
Mhm.
And there's a lot of people that's moving in, that's building homes, but you can't see them there either. They they uh, they down in like in the valleys and stuff like that, so you really can't see a lot of them. Now our place is in the open. You drive by and you can see it, and that's the way it was. Except for we did do some add-ons to it, but other than that, the inside of the house is basically the same way it was when my grandparents was alive.
Mhm, mhm.
Yeah.
Do you have any like plans for future doing a few different things around the place? Park areas is so huge down there. Do you have any different thoughts about that?
Oh yeah, the whole place is gonna look like a park, pretty much.
Okay.
It pretty much looks like that about now. We got a couple of more things to do that I would like to see done, and that's to redo our pond down there. Yeah,
Oh,
it takes it
terrific.
takes quite a bit of money just to keep just to keep the place up, really.
But it's
So I
so nice, and just
nice.
to be able to drive around all through that
Right.
land. I remember we were down and you took us all around and everything. It was just so neat to see. It's so peaceful down there. It's such a great getaway place.
It really it is. Yeah, I can't wait to get back.
Yes, yes. Anything else you think about you want to share? I know you're gonna do some video podcasts from time to time, and you'll be sharing some different things that come back to memory. So
Well,
I invite you all to stay tuned and come back and visit Pooch's videos from time to time.
what
And
I'd like to do
mhm.
is talk more about about my mother and her kids and the property that we have down there, and my brothers and sisters. That's what I'd like to share. That was a lot. That was not in Clemmie's book. She can't capture everything. So so I can capture one thing.
Well, that would be exciting.
Right.
And so we're going to look forward to hearing all those memories. And so we will be back and back. But I'm going to shut us off right here, Pooch, because I did not plug up my battery. So we'll come back, and so I'll send you a copy of this. But we're gonna put it and shoot it online. It's such a wonderful piece and everything, and we look forward to your next podcast and
Right.
hear all the memories and everything about the family and the kids and everything that God brings to memory. All right. So I shall see you in a moment.
Thank you very much.
You're quite welcome.